Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. It's Friday. Oh my God. This week went by so quickly, but I'm really happy that it's Friday because y'all know my weekend plans. I'm really looking forward to the firefighters ball on Sunday. And so now it's time to start preparing, time to whip out the lawnmower just in case. Just kidding. But I'm really looking forward to it. And the weather is going to be really beautiful and whatnot. So I'm really excited for the weekend and so happy for it to be Friday. What are you guys' weekend plans looking like? And by the way, channel members, I've got some videos coming for you. So sorry, this week has been so go with like after work stuff. But I am looking forward to continuing to read Jenelle's book for you guys. And I've got some other bonus videos coming up. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Nice to see y'all here, by the way. We've got Gala in the house, Tadisha. We've got Kristen here as well. We've got Jenny. We've got Jessica. We've got Venetia, Christy, My Crazy Life. Oh la la, it's so nice to see you guys. I'm seeing some new, fresh, exciting names. Hi. Hey, Nikki, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Monica. You too, Tyrell, Crazy Diamation Lady, Crystal, Alexa, Kailyn the Chaos, Maya. There's so many of you in here. Listen, we got so much teen mom news in today's episode. I was like, oh God, like, we have a lot to get to. There is an awful lot that's happening, and I do not even know where to start. I'm trying to like pace myself here because there's an awful lot. Okay. Hey, Maya, Melissa, Angie, K Minor, Kev, and everybody else joining us. And shout out to you guys watching from the bushes too. Listen, I know some people are shy. Some people might have their hands busy and they're not able to like write in to say that they're watching, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for being here. So in today's episode of the Morning Report, let me give you a little bit of a rundown before we get into the show, shall I? So we're going to talk a little bit about Scheana Shay. She announced that her husband, Brock Davies, cheated on her while she was pregnant with their daughter in 2020. You guys, when there was a pandemic, this man exposed her and their unborn child to STDs and COVID. We also have to talk about Chris Lopez playing an audio of Lux allegedly accusing KAIL of allegedly slapping him, and he spilled all sorts of dirty secrets about KAIL in his Instagram live. Shout out to Teen Mom Shade Room for the screen recording that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Jenelle Evans and David Eason are set to go before a judge today to finally get this divorce over and done with. It's been in the process for over a year now. And so I'm looking forward to this kind of, chapter finally being closed. A 90-day fiance couple unfortunately announced the tragic passing of their daughter, who was only about 5 weeks old. And then we also have to talk about Mackenzie Standifer. She announced on social media that she was retaining an attorney who specializes in defamation. So there have been rumors going around that she's sleeping with her former friend's husband, and Mackenzie is fighting back against those rumors. All that and more in today's episode of the Morning Report. If you find yourself enjoying the show, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content and you want to see more like it, okay? Also, by the way, you guys, Kanye West, he's being sued for SA and all sorts of just really horrific things by his ex-assistant. And the allegations are very Diddy-esque. I don't want to get into it because we just got through the Diddy of it all. We kind of need a rest from this type of news. But just so you know, I believe everything she's saying. Kanye has a terrible reputation already. I believe everything she's saying. I'm disgusted, I'm disturbed, but I am not surprised at all. Look it up at your own risk. So why don't we start off with the Scheana Shay of it all? So Scheana Shay is revealing a book called My Good Side. And in her memoir, she opens up about her broke husband, Brock Davies, cheating on her in 2020. And he didn't even tell her about it until 3 years later, in March of 2023, when all of the Scandival information broke out. And so, at this point, when he decided to finally come clean, Scheana was struggling with a lot of anxiety. She already had a lot of postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD, and then her best friend was sleeping around with her other best friend's boyfriend of like 10 years. And so she started thinking, oh my God, if she's capable of doing that within the friend group like this, could she do that with my husband? Could my husband do that to me? All sorts of things. And so that triggered Brock finally coming clean about it. And he said that he did it because he was insecure about becoming a father. He didn't know if he would be like a good father or whatever, if he deserved to be a father. And so he chose to quell his anxieties by sticking his penis in another woman's coochie. The stupidest excuse I've ever heard. And, mind you, Brock already has children. He has children that he abandoned back in Australia. So he already is a father. He knew what it was to be a father before he abandoned his responsibilities. So using this as an excuse, as if this is your first time having children, is absolutely insane. And the woman that he cheated on Scheana with was somebody that he had known even before he had met Scheana as well, which is, doubly sad. And all of this happened when he ran into her outside of his gym, which I think is a little bit too convenient. I think there's more to the story than that. And so when he told her the news, it was on an evening when they were supposed to cuddle up and watch the Real Housewives of New Jersey together. And he said, actually, baby, put that remote down. Let me tell you about the time I cheated on your ass. And so Scheana was really shocked, obviously, by the news. And she wanted to scream, but she couldn't because her daughter was upstairs sleeping. So all she could do was slap him across the face and throw a Rubik's Cube at him. He dodged it, by the way, but yeah. And she was quite shocked that this could have even happened because Scheana is known for tracking people, right? Like Scheana has like Life 360 or my friends' locations on at all times. So she was always tracking Brock, just like she tracks all of her friends and whatnot. And at this point, it turns out that he had been using a second phone, like a work phone, a burner phone, in order to get away with this affair. He had left his actual phone somewhere else, probably at the gym. And then he went whenever he was carrying out this affair and he was, just doing this behind her back, which is really, really sad. Again, she was pregnant at the time, which is absolutely devastating. And so he had written her a letter about this, right? And in the letter, he detailed way too many details, more than he needed to even provide, right? About what was going down, when, how, maybe even like, how he flipped it and reversed it and everything. And she said, okay, let's go ahead and burn it. Now that I know exactly, what happened, like, I don't want to know anything else, right? Personally, I think that it's just too convenient that Brock didn't tell her about this until after he secured his green card. I think that Brock used Scheana to secure his place in the United States. He came on an entrepreneur visa, but his business was failing. And so I think that was not going to be renewed. It was no longer a viable option for him. So he had to find the first desperate woman that he could to marry and to impregnate in order to solidify his spot in the United States. And I'm disgusted for Scheana that even happened. Y'all know I'm a Scheana apologist in the Vanderpump Rules universe. I really do like her. I know she's got her issues and whatnot, but I think overall she means well and is a good person. But, just seeing that she's been treated like this repeatedly, and this is what we say, like in the intro of the morning report, right? Like let reality TV, let what's happening in pop culture serve as a mirror to you to move differently in life, right? So when I look at this dynamic and how Scheana's relationships always end or play out, to me, it's like, okay, you really cannot be such a clingy and desperate person, right? Like Scheana's problem is that she's clingy, she's desperate, like, and she's always just in a rush to be in a relationship or to be in a marriage or whatever, to the point where she doesn't even look at the red flags or notice how the person is actually treating her. Like she just has this idea of what her life, especially what her love life should look like. And she ignores everything that's actually happening and playing out in front of her that should be telling her to run away from the person. Remember when she was with that guy, Adam, and she was like buying him a penguin and all this other stuff, like, and then you saw her with Rob obsessing over him. And the guy was obviously not really into her like that. Like, relax, breathe. It's going to be okay. Watch, look out for people's actions, right? And on top of that, you also have to look at the way that they've behaved in the past. So Brock already had a family in Australia. He had children with his ex-wife. He beat his ex-wife. He walked out on his children. He was not paying his child support. So on what planet do you look at a man like that? And then he's immigrated to your country, doesn't really have money. He's got like a failing gin. How do you look at this guy, especially the DV and the child abandonment, and go, you know what I want to do? I want to quickly get married to you and I want to quickly have kids with you, right? Like, it's sad. It really is a sad situation. But again, let reality TV, let pop culture people make these mistakes for you, observe them, right? And then just be really, really careful to not repeat these sorts of actions in your own life. Just saying. Now, let me see what y'all have to say in the comment section, because this was a really, really big story when the news broke last night. Malen says, I am sick of Scheana. Why was she coming for Ariana then? She's so fake. Well, exactly. Great question. Because in the final season of Vanderpump Rules, and Vanderpump Rules, I do think it could have potentially continued for a 12th season before being canceled, maybe. But Scheana and Lala, they turned their backs on Ariana, right? They're like, you're not being real. Like, put all this on camera, have a sit down conversation again with Tom on camera, blah, blah, right? Meanwhile, look at the skeletons in their closets, right? Like, Lala still won't admit that she was creeping around with a married man. And Scheana was hiding that her husband was out here freaking around behind her back. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, karma. We always talk about how karma, listen, sometimes karma is not immediate. It might not get you within the year. It might not get you within 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but trust and believe she will come back for you. And what is Scheana Shay's claim to fame? How did she, kind of come out as a front runner for Vanderpump Rules? It was because she had an affair with former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Brandi Glanville's ex-husband or then husband, Eddie Ciprian, right? She thought it was so cute, tee-hee-hee, that she was having this affair with him while Brandi was at home pregnant. And now look at you. 12 years later, who's the one at home pregnant while her trash husband is having an affair on her? So be very careful, Mackenzie and other girls like that who like to creep around with married men. It will always come back to you in one way or another. Don't think you've escaped karma, just because it's been a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. No, it'll come back to you eventually. Hey, Sarah says, I dated a Brock, not again, ever, please, ever, never, ever, ever settle for a Brock. Like, and again, y'all know, I think Scheana is the most beautiful girl on Vanderpump Rules. I think she is like absolutely stunning. So that's what's always really been like just so shocking to me, like her desperation. Like, to me, she screams low self-esteem and I don't understand it. Like, I think she's absolutely beautiful. She's got this vibrant personality. She seems to be a very happy-go-lucky, positive person and everything. To me, she's got a lot going for her. She's very hardworking. She's very smart. So why does she not like see it in herself, right? Like, why does she do this? Like, why is she giving these kinds of guys the time of day and financing them? She was buying like penguins for Adam, right? And she was paying off Brock's child support and funding his life and whatnot. And with Shay, same thing. She was funding his life while he was, on rugs and whatnot. Like, girl, do better, expect better, aim higher. Ali says, I don't feel sorry for her. She's a homewrecker herself. What goes around comes around. Exactly, right? Unfortunately, karma caught up to her, and it's sad, right? It's all fun and games until it affects you for some people. And so, it sucks. But again, this was just her karma. It was her time, her turn to really see what it was like to be on the other side of that equation. Good morning, Amanda. Nice to see you. Milan says, Scheana is so clingy. They deserve each other. And I agree, right? Like, she's too clingy. Listen, it's okay to be clingy in a relationship when the person has earned your clinginess, but don't just be clingy with people you don't even know just because you want to have anybody, let that be a lesson. Please, please, please don't go down the Scheana route. She could have done so much better. I think she could have gotten like a big superstar or a big businessman or something like Brock. Deadbeat Brock, really, girl? Oh, and sorry, Nikki, I misspoke. It did not get canceled, but like the cast as we know it has been gutted, and it's going to come back with like a bunch of like completely different people. I don't know when exactly it's going to be airing again, but it's coming back with completely different people. Jaleesa with a new photo. Where is this? It's a beach with a sky. Is this like a, did you tell? You're not from Florida, are you? Where is this? This is in Tampa, is it? It's not Miami, is it? Interesting, her and Lala were on Ariana season 11 for not being authentic and ruining the ratings. Yet they had this under their belt. Scheana was so worried about her show, she could have saved it. Exactly. And now the only way that she could like try to get a spot on TV again now is her trying to get onto, what is that show called? It's not called The Hills. What is that show called with all those people? The Valley, right? And her trying to sell this book at this point. Like she's trying to keep her family afloat by now having to sell the story of how her trifling, broke, unemployed husband was cheating on her, exposing her and their unborn daughter to STDs. Well, can a baby get STDs? Well, it can cause issues in there, right? Anyway, and COVID and whatnot. He really risked her life. Right? I cannot imagine that. Like this guy, you've given him everything. You've given him the green card that he wants. You've given him a child. He wanted to start over and he does this to you. You've given him a lifestyle, right? Because this guy doesn't have money, a job, nothing. And this is how he repays you. Girl. Kailyn Chaos says, good afternoon. Currently melting in England. Really? You're melting in England? Wow. Well, it is hot. You're right. It's 30 here, so it must be around the same for you guys. But finish work for the weekend. Have a great weekend in advance. And we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to KAIL indeed. And I'm so sorry, Tyrell, about your situation. So sorry to hear that. You guys, if any of you guys are in Toronto and you know of a good connection for a 2-bedroom apartment in Toronto, please, please, please help out Tyrell. She needs to find an apartment ASAP, okay? Speaking of KAIL, you guys, shall we get into the story? Can I take a deep breath? Listen, I don't know what it is, but I've been on pins and needles, I feel like. And so these stories, like they're affecting me so much, you know? So let me take a deep breath, okay? Y'all, this Chris story has been wild. I was just minding his own business yesterday. I saw he was going live and whatnot, right? But I was out and about. And so I had seen him post this picture of like somebody calling his phone a million times over with no caller ID. And I'm like, oh God, he's got to be talking about KAIL again, isn't he? Because he's always exposing the fact that whenever he goes live and he talks about KAIL and what she's supposedly like in real life, she blows up his phone to try and like stop him from continuing with his lives, okay? And he posted, well, Teen Mom Shade Room on Threads. So shout out to you, boo. Destiny from Teen Mom Shade Room. She posted a video from an out-taping, I don't know, from the video that Chris did. And he was calling it out, okay? I'm going to play the video for you guys, okay? But let me just tell you, he is going to talk about Elijah allegedly hitting the children. You're going to hear Lux allegedly accuse KAIL of allegedly slapping him, right? And then he's going to expose KAIL because a lot of people always wonder, how is it that KAIL attracts young guys, right, who aren't completely busted and who have no kids? What is she doing to attract these men with the train wreck that is her life? Well, Chris said, listen, I was doing some strange for a little bit of change. I banged her one good time and she compensated me with a MacBook. She was flying me and my friends out to Puerto Rico, to California. She was buying me new clothes. She bought me a bed. He is going to list it all, you guys. And there's just so much more. So take a look at it. Continue to leave your comments. I will be putting them up on the screen in addition to the live chat over there. And if you're part of the Playback Posse, let us know in the regular comment section and we'll get back to you as well, okay? Take a look, you guys.
Chris, I don't care who was a witness. I don't hit my kids, let alone in the face.
She said it's not actually happening. She only slapped me because I was disrespectful, but that didn't give her a reason to slap me in the face.
Yeah. Who's lying? Who's lying? the kids don't ask about me. Yeah, because me and my kids already talked. Me and my kids have already established. I don't try to call them when they with her. He doesn't want, you know what I mean? We don't want to talk while she's around because she controls everything. Like, that's something me and my son talked about. And it's sad when a 30-year-old man and a 7-year-old kid have an agreement saying it's okay if we don't talk because your mom. We don't want to talk around your mom. That's weird. Remember, they said they don't hit my kids. I don't believe you. And secondly, our kids know how you feel about me, and kids know when parents aren't united. They know they can play us against each other, which is exactly what is happening. I benefit in no way by denying a call to you. Having a healthy relationship between you and them is the goal. I'm going to read that part again for you. Having a healthy relationship between you and them is the goal. And capitalize the goal. Meanwhile, I'm the only baby dad she won't get 50-50 to. Meanwhile, when she travels, she won't let my kids come to me because it's inconvenient. Let me finish reading. Lux was not respecting me when I was making him read. I said, I know your dad has you read too. And he said, you don't. So I said, I will call you. Then he wants to read. Bro, imagine this. Imagine your child. Imagine trying to tell a dad that you threatened to call his dad and he got scared. That was their excuse. I threatened to call you because they were, and then he wanted to read. But you said you don't slap your kids. He was being disrespectful though. And like, the contradictory is crazy. I don't need to explain myself to you, and this is the last time I will. When you were I wasn't dating no one. I was just sleeping around with him. You noticed had 2 baby dads at the time. You're right. I didn't think I would be one. I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all. I thought I was gonna be that like anomaly that could just enjoy the fun and be on the outside while they deal with their shit. And the crazy thing is y'all saying you seen how they were. They didn't act like this though in front of me. They didn't act like this towards me. I thought it was so. And then when it was presented to me, you got an ex-husband and an ex-wife, and then this new guy in the middle. I just thought motherfuckers was just mad because they, you know what I mean? I didn't know the whole story about what was really going on and shit like that. So I was just enjoying shit. I was going on trips and taking my friends on trips and driving this car, driving that car. Had the newest shoes coming out. You know what I mean? I was always eating like a nigga. I was fed and shit like that. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret that nobody knows about. The first time I ever had sex with these said individual, a week later, they bought me a MacBook. I'm gonna repeat that for y'all. First time I ever had sex with this individual, the next week they came back with a MacBook. The newest MacBook at the time. It's like $1,500 on like a fucking random Tuesday. A MacBook. Followed that up by saying, hey, do you want to go to Puerto Rico? You damn right I want to go to Puerto Rico. Hey, you want to go to California? You damn right I want to go. I've never been out the hood. You damn right I want to go. You damn right. Because my brother, the guy right there that just logged in, exclusive bread. Yo, bro, if I make this shot, we going to Texas. Bang, nigga. We going to Texas. Me and him. Yo, bro, you want some shoes? Me and him. Yo, bro, we got a French bulldog coming. 2 of them. And you took it all at the time. Because when I was done with it, you can ask Brad all the time. Like, when I was done with that individual, bro, I'll be throwing all the fucking clothes away. Like, all the clothes and shit they bought from me, I threw that shit away. The bed, I threw that shit. I gave it away for free. Like, on some real shit. Like, clothes and shit, I gave away. Or I dogged them and shit like that. Like, I was just giving shit away. You can ask Brad, bro, I'll be throwing fucking clothes out my closet and shit like that. Just throwing this shit. No, I don't want people to think I didn't develop feelings. When you end something, you develop feelings unexpectedly. Sometimes you just unexpectedly involve feelings and shit, but it don't be an initial plan. You know what I mean? And that's not to be disrespectful or anything. It's just the truth that people, that's what y'all want. Y'all want the truth, but here it is.
He was bragging about how all he had to do was, have sex with KAIL once, and then she went and got him a MacBook. Then she was taking him on trips. And then I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, you're basically saying that you were, doing something strange for some change. You were low-key a sugar baby, an escort, whatever, right? And then it gets crazier because he starts like proudly listing all the stuff that he had KAIL buy for his friend too. So he was like, yeah, like I would take my friend with me to Texas, my friend with me to California. We got 2 French bulldogs. I said, now, wait a minute now. It's starting to look like your friend was your boyfriend and KAIL was just your sponsor, because that is crazy. Like, crazy. Like, what? Like, I didn't get that part. That's the part that was so odd to me. And I did see some comments coming in, like, agreeing that, like, it basically sounds like that's what he's saying, right? That he's some sort of like, an escort or something, right? When it comes to KAIL, which is not the flex that he thinks it is. The only person who won in this is your friend who got all of this without having to put out. But one thing, here's the thing, right? Like, everything that Chris said in this live is embarrassing for himself and it's embarrassing for KAIL. However, there was a small victory for KAIL there, which is that Chris said that he did start to develop feelings. He didn't expect to develop feelings for her, but he did eventually start to. So I'm sure that she's probably at home like, yes, he admitted it, right? Because this is the first time that he has ever publicly admitted to that. Up until this point, he always made it seem like it was a one-way street. She was just a jump off, just a side piece. Like, there was nothing there. And now here he is in 4K, or at least 720 HP, saying that he caught feelings for KAIL. So I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that was crazy. And I completely agree, K-Car, right? Like, it's not a flex to be taking money from a single mom like that. That's wild, right? Like, that's just so embarrassing on his part, truly. And Ruby, happy early birthday to your daughter, Luna. We're going to send her all the prayers in the world. Hopefully everything turns out okay for her. Happy birthday. How are you guys going to be celebrating her birthday tomorrow? And how I love when a birthday falls on a Saturday. That's the perfect way to celebrate. Star says, this is good to know because I'm over here wondering how I'm single when KAIL gets a man every week. Listen, get your bread up, Star. You got to listen. Apparently now, if you want to have a man, but here's the thing, like it's like a Chris caliber of a man, which I don't think is what, any of us are really looking for, but this is KAIL's secret. Buy them a MacBook, take them on trips, not just themselves, but you got to pay for them and their friends. Then you got to buy them all these clothes. You got to buy them a bed, buy them French bulldogs, buy their friend a French bulldog. Chris, why did you have to make sure every single time that your friend got the same thing as you? I've got some questions about this. I'm sorry. I've got some serious questions. That is very, very interesting. Good morning, Ramster. Nice to see you. And your comment about your bra being chucked into oblivion. How freaking relatable is that? But why is she saying that she will call Chris? That means the child is, well, that's what I gleaned from it too. So he's denying that he has ever put his hands on his children. However, in the past, he did admit to that publicly. So I don't think he's telling the truth there. And, it wouldn't be a threat if there wasn't, right, if there wasn't any fear in the children. So he has been saying for a very long time, though, that Elijah has put his hands on the children. And now in that audio that he played, we heard Lux allegedly accused KAIL of allegedly slapping him for being disrespectful, which was wild. You know what? Speaking of, I do have a screenshot somewhere here. I'm going to try and find it, but there's a post that somebody posted about something like how you got to beat your man anytime he gets out of line or something like that. And KAIL is known for putting the pause on her men whenever, you know, she's upset or something like that. And KAIL liked that post. So I'm going to have to go and find that for you guys. I'll put that in Tuesday's morning report. Okay. Rhea says, imagine putting your kid's business out there on the internet, right? Like, this is so embarrassing. And this is what he does multiple times a week, every single week. He sits there on Instagram and he just spills all the tea about what's going on with his children and his baby mama. And then KAIL does the same thing on her various podcasts, right? Multiple times a week. And then she'll go on other people's podcasts and then bring up this stuff. This is what set him off, was that Lala had KAIL on her podcast, and KAIL was talking crap about Chris. She was saying the kids don't miss him when he's gone. They don't ask about him. She said when she croaks, she wants all the kids to go with their fathers except for Lex and Creed. Lex and Creed are going to be going with like her cousin or something like that. And that really set Chris off. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I blame him for that, right? Hey, Mariah, I'm so sorry you were sick, but I'm so glad that you are finally feeling better and just in time for the weekend too. Won't he do it? Hallelujah. So glad you're doing better. And thank you, Nikki. That's so nice of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nikki says, I was scared of my daddy too, and he never hit me. He was just tall with a deep voice. Well, maybe that's it then. Maybe that's it, you know. But you know what? At the same time, Chris has admitted to putting the pause on those children. He was saying this, as you know, even when the kids were like 2 years old or something like that, which is like a crazy, crazy, crazy age to be, you know, putting the children, listen, I don't think you should be spanking children at all. But then when you hear about someone doing that with a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old, it's like, oh, this is psychotic. Really, really, truly psychotic. Right? By the way, I'm loving all of the birthday wishes rolling in for Steph and Luna. Steph, I didn't know it was your birthday today. Happy birthday, boo. Hope you have a great day celebrating. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alexa says, you crack me up. KAIL's so happy he finally admitted it, right? Like, honestly, to her, everything that he exposed about her buying love, whatever. He said he loved me once upon a time. Well, he didn't say that. We're not going to take it that far, right? But he said that he had feelings for her. And that is probably the most, important piece of information. I'm sure that she's going to go download that clip and save that part where he said he had feelings and just fall asleep to that every single night, right? Even though she's got her new man that's getting ready to move into her house, that is the most important part to her. Ray says, I swear they both have unresolved feelings for each other. And I agree. Listen, at least KAIL admits that she was obsessed with this man, like drink his dirty bathwater, obsessed, right? But Chris has always been trying to play it cool. You do not sit around, Tyrell, you do not sit around talking about your ex day in and day out if you do not have some level of, feeling for them or obsession of your very own towards this person. Maya says, not to pick sides, but Chris comes with receipts. When's the last time KAIL came with receipts? Listen, we're still waiting for her to talk, speak on some things, right? The boys exposed her for certain things and she still hasn't really addressed them. And these are very serious allegations, right? So it's true at this point, especially with the screenshot, let me go back and put it up in case some of y'all missed it. But he was even showing us that she was harassing him while he was doing his Instagram live. And this is something that she has had a long, years long history of doing to him. Javi has, exposed this behavior as well. It's weird, honestly, though, but Chris is not innocent. They're both weird. They're both just very strange individuals who never should have procreated, especially not together, right? Very, very odd stuff. Now, KAIL, she did, for her part, make an announcement on Instagram, but it was BS. Take a look and I'll tell you why it was BS.
All right, y'all, I'm about to go into the cave that Joe said that I should never come out of. I'll see y'all next week.
So she said she's about to go to the cave, right? I'll see y'all next week. So she's announcing a week-long social media break. However, this morning when I opened up my Instagram account, what do I see? More Instagram stories from KAIL. She's trying to get me to buy some Amazon Prime stuff. She's saying that she feels so happy that she's able to provide a financially stable life for her children, which is nice. But, I guess that's kind of her clapback, yeah, I got money and what? Listen, spend it on your children. Do not spend it chasing after random men trying to buy their love and affection. That's just not the move, girl. It's not the move. You can do better. You can do better. Well, can she though? Actually, I don't know. I recant that statement. I'm not sure she can. Good morning, Kahara. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Sarah says she still loves Chris, but hates him because it wasn't reciprocated back. Exactly. Can I ask you guys, are any of you guys into like pop psychology? Limerence, is this limerence, or like is limerence when you haven't had the chance to actually date the person and you're obsessed with them from afar? Because I'm feeling like they both have that sort of thing going on. Jen says it doesn't look good on his part either, that he is questioning his kid and recording it to post it. Shaking my head, it's so cringe. They need to reflect because they're both in the wrong. I agree. Listen, I think that the judge overseeing their custody dispute needs to put them both on like a gag order when it comes to these children in public. No more talking about these kids on the podcast. No more talking about these kids on Instagram. It is detrimental to their well-being. It's not okay. Amanda says, oh my God, your hair looks so good here. I couldn't imagine growing up and seeing my parents at their big ages going back and forth online like this. How are they not embarrassed? Exactly. Honestly, I am so happy to have parents or to have grown up in the pre-internet, pre-social media era, right? Because can you imagine how embarrassing this is? And these are public figures. So like the people at school, listen, the principal might be in on this tea, right? Might be listening to the podcast, like the teachers, everything might be following these people on social media because God knows how it goes. Are any of you guys teachers? Do you guys like gossip about this type of thing? Like in the break room, like parents, like student, like what do you guys talk about in the break room? Actually, come give us the tea a little bit. I actually have a friend who's a teacher, but I never even thought to ask him that. I'm going to ask him that after this morning report, actually. Sorry, Kristen. Maya says, and KAIL has a history of doxing too. Exactly. She does. So this is just not smart at all. And petty Betty indeed. Listen, insane. Absolutely insane. I'm so tired on their children's behalf. I'm sad that this is what they have chosen to do. They really should do better, right? And you know what? It is true, Kate. Like if she gets a gag order, you know, what is she going to talk about on these podcasts? Ali says, KAIL's a damn lie. She needs to turn off the cell phone for a few days. I agree. Listen, she didn't even go offline for like 24 hours. She was back on within like 7 or 8 hours. So whatever. Anyway, you guys, that's that on the Chris of it all. Again, shout out to you, Teen Mom Shade Room, for coming in clutch with the screen recording. I will let you guys know if any more information comes out, if he's continuing to sing like a canary. But in the meantime, if you've been enjoying today's episode of the Morning Report so far, don't forget, we go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. EST to talk about the day's hottest stories. And if you're enjoying it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, okay? We do have another teen mom story to get into. It is none other than Jenelle Lauren Evans and David Deadbeat Eason and their divorce. So according to the Ashley's Reality Roundup, the two of them are set to have a meeting in court or a hearing today, Friday, to finally get this divorce over and done with. And this is going to be a virtual non-jury hearing. And it's supposed to last about 15 minutes and should officially end their marriage. Granted, something can happen to make it continued or to prolong this divorce, but it's most likely going to end in that divorce. So back in May, Jenelle had filed for an absolute divorce because remember, where they live in North Carolina, where they got married, you have to be separated for at least a year before you can move forward to a divorce. And so that's why she didn't immediately go there, right? So now that the time has elapsed, she's ready to go for a full-blown divorce. And that's exactly what we're all hoping to hear about today, right? A little bit of a confirmation. So David Eason, for his part, has not contested the divorce at all. And that makes Jenelle legally entitled to summary judgment. And separately, there is a civil case ongoing, you guys, and it was filed by Jenelle in February, which deals with the custody of their daughter, Ensley, the division of their marital assets, and child support as well. So that, however, is still ongoing in tandem with this divorce hearing, however, separately, right? A hearing for that is scheduled for August as well. So yeah, stay tuned. And it's kind of funny though, because Jenelle did throw like a divorce party without even being divorced, right? So now maybe she's going to have to go ahead and throw a second divorce party or whatever in order to actually fully, truly, properly announce the fact that she's divorced. And it seems as though she is seeking to get her last name back. And listen, I feel like Jenelle is going to marry again at least once or twice more. And I think at this point, Jenelle, just keep your last name for good. It's okay. You do not need to change your last name again. You tried, boo, but this stuff is just not for you. So go ahead, keep your last name for your next 2 or 3 marriages or so. It's going to be okay. You don't need to, right? It just seems like such a hassle to have to go back and forth repeatedly. Kailyn, thank you for asking me this. I forgot to mention this to you guys because the dance class was Wednesday night. So for those of you who are unaware, somebody from my salsa dancing class, he went missing. And so his family flew in from his country, Morocco, to try and, do a rescue, try to find him, right? And so it led to a lot of drama in the group chat of the dance community. So again, thank you, Kailyn, for asking. I was reaching out to that girl and everything. And today, actually, just a couple hours ago, 2 hours ago, she told me that he was found and that he is in good health. So thank God for that. I'm really happy. And by the way, the lady in the group chat who was basically like, oh, keep this out of here, to the girl who posted the news asking if anybody knew about where he was, she didn't end up going to the Wednesday class. I think she was embarrassed. She's always there, but she didn't go this time. Ramster says, I know what they are, Chris and Kail. I'll tell you, they are childish AF, and I completely agree. Cynthia says, teachers love to gossip about crazy parents. I'm not a teacher, but we work alongside a lot of them, and they spill the tea. Oh my God. How like to get that kind of gossip all the time for free, like right in front of you? That's crazy. Y'all are eating good. Tadisha says, I'm not a teacher, but a support staff, but usually the gossip is about students. Oh man, their parents and other colleagues. I support pre-K, by the way. Wow. Now it kind of makes me self-conscious about myself as a student. Like, what are they talking about over there? Like, like this girl, like she sucks at math, like some shit like that. Oh, not me swearing. It's something like that. What are they talking about when it comes to students? Or maybe it's like students that don't listen, right? Or that are just like a nuisance to deal with. I don't know, but that's crazy, crazy, crazy to get around the dozing, buy a burner, give them that pound or give them that number. Oh, thank you, Allie. Yes, you guys, if you're enjoying today's episode of the Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. By the way, a little reminder, Monday is a holiday in France, so I will not be able to prepare a full-blown morning report. However, at 10 a.m. Eastern, our usual morning report time, I will be on Kempire's YouTube channel with him and Layla Lynn to recap The Real Housewives of Atlanta Reunion Part 1. So please, please, please bring your mics. Make sure to join me over there, okay? Kailyn says, do you think she'll have another party for the official? I think she will. Listen, if she can get it sponsored, she will, right? And she should. A bag is a bag. However, don't forget the first one turned out terribly. Almost nobody showed up. The vibe was off, and she kind of got dragged for it essentially. So and I think that she is somebody who is a very anxious person anyway, Jenelle. So I don't know that she would have it in her to do that to herself again. However, she's a shameless person also. So maybe she doesn't even have the sense to be embarrassed. Ramster says, weird, you can't get divorced before 1 year, yet you can get married in the Las Vegas minute. Isn't it? Well, listen, it's about keeping you trapped, because the marriage, that's the thing that gets you like trapped with somebody, right? But like getting away from them, that's what's got to be made difficult, unfortunately. Tyrell says, I think her last party was such a flop. I doubt it. That's what I'm thinking too. I think that it was a little bit too embarrassing for her, that thing just did not turn out well. And thank you, Kailyn. You heard them, ladies. If you're enjoying today's episode of the show, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a like here on YouTube. Kate says, I volunteered at school. The teachers only talk about kids and parents if there's a problem or a funny story, not the personal lives. They mostly talk about vacations, memories, and their families. Really, I kind of would love like a teacher school, kind of like Vanderpump Rules, a teacher show, kind of like Vanderpump Rules, like how we get to see what it's like working behind the scenes at a restaurant and whatnot. Like, I want to know what goes down in the break room, but I feel like it would be kind of tough, right? Because they are talking about minors at the end of the day. But to be a fly on the wall. Hey, Amy, nice to see you. And nice to see you too, Amelia, and everybody else tuning in now as well. So nice to have you guys here with us for the morning report. And amen indeed, Pamela. I'm so freaking happy that he is good. I was worried because, again, when you turn off your phone, right, and people are coming from a different continent to come and find you, like, I was thinking the worst. I thought that this was, you know what I mean? Like, it was really sad. It really, really was. So I'm so freaking elated to find out that he's doing okay. So thank God. And thank you guys for your prayers as well for that situation. Now, there is another situation that went down in the 90 Day Fiance universe. Do you guys still watch 90 Day Fiance, by the way? Because I started watching that new season of Happily Ever After, and I do need to recap it, by the way. Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, Kelly. Can't wait to see you there. So basically, and it's so sad, this story. So big trigger warning for you guys. It's a really, really, really sad story. And it involves one of the most disturbing 90-day fiance couples out there, right? Do you guys remember Eric and Lita? The way that this woman came from Malaysia and she just treated his children like absolute garbage. She had no remorse for it. Just so many ugly, weird things tied up with her and her past as well in Malaysia, right? So these two have a very toxic ABUSIVE relationship and marriage. And Lita recently went on Instagram to accuse Eric of hitting her. She showed photos, videos, all sorts of things. And Eric, just a couple of days ago, was arrested for DV as well. And now we're finding out the news via Eric's Facebook page. And I don't even know how he's posting on Facebook because, again, he literally just got arrested. I was like, aren't you in jail? Like, who's updating this for you, right? But anyway, Eric made a very, very tragic announcement about what happened to their daughter. The two of them share a very young daughter. Apparently, she was only 5 weeks old. In fact, I had no idea that they even had a daughter together, right? So finding out that their daughter had unfortunately passed away, rest her soul, was doubly shocking because this was not even public information yet at this point that they had a daughter, as far as I was aware. Anyway, so give me a second, you guys. I thought I took a screenshot of it, so I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. I'm uploading it now. I'm going to read to you in his exact words what he had to say about the untimely passing of his 5-week-old daughter. Eric said, and I quote, "It destroys me and shatters my world to announce that over the weekend, tragedy has struck. Yesterday at 12:53 p.m., after 5 days on life support, my beloved daughter, little Alyssa Eleanor Rosenbrook, slipped the Shirley bonds to join her grandfather, Tom. I do not want well wishes or questions. I will not answer anything, read or reply. I ask just for prayers for her." And so when you hear that there's this domestic situation and it led to somebody being arrested and whatnot, now you're hearing about a child passing away, a young child, a baby, an infant. It raises a lot of disturbing questions, right? Especially, with the history of this couple, particularly, honestly, the both of them, right? What happened? And so the Reddit community from 90 Day Fiance Uncensored, they found some sort of alleged report. And in the report, it says the Division of Safety and Permanence has received notification that a child death, serious injury, or egregious incident has occurred and maltreatment is suspected, or that a child placed in out-of-home care has died and suicide is suspected. So they said that the incident is a serious injury as confirmed by a physician. The child was 5 weeks old and it happened in home, and that it's currently under review. Serious injury. Serious injury to a 5-week-old child in the midst of a DV arrest from a very violent and volatile couple. I hate to say it, but I'm suspecting these two of some bad stuff. How do you guys feel about this? I'm just curious. Let me see what you guys have to say in the chat. Sorry, by the way, you guys. I know it's a very, 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 very heavy topic. Ali says, I typically watch all of the episodes after all of the episodes have been released. That's actually a really fun way to get into series, to be able to actually full-blown binge watch them. Amy says, Big Ed scared me away from 90 Day Fiance. Listen, I don't blame you. That one was woof. Yes, Kikara, stay tuned. I will be recapping that. I watched the episode and everything. I've been struggling to find time lately, but I really am. I still watch all their spinoffs religiously, says Amanda. And yes, Nicole, I got you, boo. Happy Go Lucky says, rest in peace to that poor baby. I will never forget how Eric and Lita treated his daughter on their season. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, they were so cold, heartless, almost sociopathic in regards to the way that they dealt with his daughter. Like, there was no care, no compassion, no nothing, no regard for her. And so when you hear about this stuff, and then Lita also has been accused over several years of not treating her son very well, right? And then she also has been arrested for animal cruelty, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wasn't she some sort of animal abuse, right? And then there were rumors of her being involved in some sort of drag racing in Malaysia that led to somebody's passing. Just she's got a very bad history about her, right? So I'm really, really thinking the worst. And I hate that, right? Because they lost a child, but just given what we know about them so far, like it's not looking good, right? Only a 48-hour hold. Oh, geez. That's kind of scary, honestly, because, you know, when someone's still heated in 48 hours and ready to finish the job. Woof. And I know, Tadisha, get ready for that recap. We got so much to talk about that. I missed yesterday's show. Did we talk about both of Mackenzie's babies being home? Did we talk about that? We talked about one of them being home, not the other, but it is true. She did just talk about how both of her children, Mackenzie, Mickey, both of her children are home from the NICU, graduated from the NICU. Thanks, Nikki. I completely forgot about that. I know, you guys, it's very, very sad. And I agree. It's a very strange thing to say, right? Like, I feel like just don't put anything on Facebook at all. Just do not look at social media if you do not want any kind of engagement with the story, right? And yeah, serious injury. What kind of serious injury would a 5-week-old have? Right? Right. That's what I'm wondering, Kate. I don't know. This does not look good. Kikar says between his DV, her dog abuse, and how she treated his daughter, this is a scary story. I hope the baby didn't suffer. Right? And you're right, Star. It is. It's all so sad, you guys. So I'll keep an eye on this story. I'll let you know if there's any news, you know, any developments about it, but it's not looking good. I don't know why these two don't separate. They are not good together. They're toxic together. They bring out the worst in each other. And it has very, very serious consequences for everybody involved in their orbit, right? And so, well, honestly, that story really was stunning to me this morning. Now, speaking of Mackenzie, I know you were asking me about a different Mackenzie, Nikki, but I do have a story about Mackenzie Edwards. So Mackenzie Edwards, who used to be married to Ryan from, well, actually, she's still married to him, right? He's engaged to a different woman, and he's got a baby with a new woman, but he's still engaged to her. So she's been accused of having an affair with her friend's husband. So in that photo back there, that is her in the car with her friend's husband, and her friend is the one who took this photo of the two of them. And now Mackenzie is fighting back. She says that she is looking to lawyer up, and she took to her Instagram to ask her followers for a defamation attorney, which, listen, I find this to be very strange, right? Like, girl, Google is free. Go on Google. This is how we did things before the Instagram days, right? We went on Google, we searched things. There's also ChatGPT if you want. There's also Yahoo, there's Bing. There are so many search engines that you can use on your own to find a defamation attorney. Obviously, I don't think that she was looking to have her actual followers help her with this. I think that she already, you know, was going to go look at this on her own. But this is her subtly making an announcement to her friend that she is coming for her. So be very careful, Amber. Listen, Amber, continue to tell your truth, because here's the thing. People like to threaten others with lawsuits and whatnot. But if you're telling the truth about somebody and you're telling the truth about a situation, even if it makes that person look bad, it doesn't matter. It's not illegal. If Mackenzie really is sleeping with this woman's husband, or dating this woman's husband, that woman, Amber, has every right to publicly talk about it. You do not get to just shut that down because you don't like how it makes you look, Mackenzie, right? And so Ryan Edwards' fiance and latest baby mama, Amanda Connor, caught wind. Well, I shouldn't even say caught wind, because I think Amanda watches Mackenzie like a hawk. I think Amanda has a fixation with Mackenzie. I'm not even going to lie, right? So she caught wind of this during her stalking, and she decided to throw some shade at Mackenzie. She said, just remember, ladies, Google doesn't have a restraining order on you. Do it yourself. And it's true. I'm sorry, but it's so stupid to be sitting here on Instagram stories asking other people to find you a damn lawyer when Google is perfectly capable of doing that for you, right? Like, do it on your own. And so Mackenzie provided an update that she found a lawyer and she retained a lawyer as well. Whatever, girl. Whatever, girl. Just lawyer up and then do this in private. Well, actually, no, don't do it in private, but just lawyer up and then we'll see how things go from there. But this announcement was so corny and so lame. I do agree with Amanda that you got to do this on your own, right? But come on now. And again, also, Mackenzie, if it's true, because I see you in this car alone with this woman's husband, it's not looking good for you, right? If what she's saying about you is true, you're wasting your money and you're going to have to pay for lawyers' fees up the wazoo, not only for yourself, but for her as well when you lose. What do you guys think? Like, do you think she stands a chance of winning this case against this woman? Ali says she's trying to scare her friend. I think so too. And you know, this is what I asked in yesterday's report. I said, how does Mackenzie have the money for all this? Like, she makes like a nice salary, but it's not like a crazy good salary. And then she had to fix up the house that Ryan destroyed on her own. She's a single mom to 3 children. Like, doesn't she have student loans? Like, what is, like, are her parents rich or something? Is she an only child? Like, what's the tea, right? Maybe that's it. You're right. That could be one of those kind of like dog whistles for, hey, anybody want to work pro bono for exposure for me, right? It's not defamation if it's true, period. She's wasting her money if it's true. Tadisha says she definitely slept with her former friend's man. Why does she need a defamation lawyer? Exactly. I think she just doesn't like her friend talking about it. But again, if you did it, own it, own it, own it, own it, own it, because you're not going to win this. And Dalmatian Lady doesn't think so either. Womp, womp, womp. Now, you guys, we do have one final story of the day. It's actually a really shocking story that came out of the BuzzFeed family involving Love Island USA contestant Shelly. But before we get to that, we do have a word from some of our sponsors. So take a look and I'll catch you on the flip side. If you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, don't forget to go ahead and give it a like, please, and thank you. And we go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, not this Monday. It's a holiday here. I will be on Campire's YouTube channel Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today.
Now, let's get into our final story of the day. Like I said, Love Island, drama. Can I ask you guys, why did BuzzFeed feel the need to publish a post on their Instagram that suggested that Shelly deserved to be punched in the face by her boyfriend, Ace? Because as far as I'm aware of Shelly's presence on the show, she's been just a nice, calm, peaceful person. Especially in these last few episodes, she and Ace are only continuing to further cement and develop their connection. So when I saw this post by BuzzFeed, I genuinely was shocked and confused by it. So here is the post on BuzzFeed, right? So because the guys or the men of Love Island, they make the ladies breakfast, BuzzFeed thought it would be funny to do a post saying what kind of breakfast the guys should be making the girls, right? So there was like a fruit salad there. Then there was like some macaroni or something like that over there in the corner. Sorry, mangoes over there in the corner. But then on the left, you see a fist sandwiched in between like slices of bread. And then it says knuckle sandwich. So essentially, not essentially, but literally, this publication is saying that a man on the show Love Island should be punching his girlfriend in the face. Again, why? First of all, there's no reason, right, for a man to be punching you in the face or you to be punching a man, for nobody to be punching nobody, right? But why specifically? Like, what specifically happened for them to think that this would have been funny at all? I'm so confused because I see Shelly as just a peaceful, positive, bubbly light and presence on the show. And so they did try to release some sort of apology. However, the apology was very weak, right? Very, very weak. And it just did not stand the test, in my opinion. And Shelly's family feels the exact same way. In fact, they are dragging BuzzFeed and asking for a proper apology this time around. And I'm really, really happy about that. Hey, East Awesome, nice to see you, boo. Sorry about your morning meetings taking up your morning, but I'm happy you're here. You're just in time for the Love Island story. And yes, I do use it. I have the app here on my phone. I really, really enjoy it. It's very, very engaging. And buenas, Jasmine. How you doing, girl? Nice to see you. Jasmine says it's disgusting. Ali says, BuzzFeed, count your days. Tadisha says, which intern got into the account and posted that? That's cringeworthy / alarming, right? BY says, BuzzFeed is suggesting DV. Exactly. What is funny about it? And again, why? Like, what happened? That, like, I feel like I'm out of the loop on something. Why? Right? They put an apology up on the story. I made a comment hoping that they get sued. I hope, really, honestly, truly, it's time to start suing these people for these sorts of things. It's not okay, right? To me, this is dripping in misogynoir. But that is a story for another day. Let's take a look at what it is that Shelly's family said in regards to the post and BuzzFeed's half-ass apology, okay? So this was your official statement from Team Shelly. It says, and I quote, on July 9th, 2025, BuzzFeed Tasty posted a collaboration Instagram post with BuzzFeed. The post was a hypothetical idea of what they would make for breakfast for the Islanders. The slide dedicated to Shelly's breakfast was not breakfast, but violence, specifically hinting at DV. Why? How? They created a graphic and edited a knuckle sandwich on a plate. So I ask you a pressing question. Who makes breakfast for the Islanders? The answer is the men. They make breakfast for the women. Hence, the message of DV is subtle yet present when we use our critical thinking and reasoning skills, especially in the field of journalism and media. It is not only disturbing, disgusting, and unacceptable, it is the harsh reality that implicit biases can be rooted in anti-Blackness, misogyny, prejudice, violence, etc. Furthermore, not only was the post deleted, but another post was made with a condescending message and tone of no accountability. They mentioned that we referenced a knuckle sandwich in our slide about Shelly, and we thought it meant to be cheeky. It landed with racial tones that we didn't intend, but we should have seen it coming. This post with the statement was also deleted. So they deleted their apology, essentially, right? So that would piss me off too. Not only do you post some BS, right, about this woman, this innocent woman who has done nothing to deserve that, but then you issue a half-ass apology and then you delete that half-ass apology and you expect us to just move on? What? We're thankful that Shelly did not see the post, but her family, friends, and supporters have. Even young people and women who look up to Shelly saw that post as a symbol of violence to someone who inspires and represents them. Team Shelly will not tolerate this level of disrespect, anti-Blackness, prejudice, and misogyny. Furthermore, we will not accept a narrative in which Shelly deserves violence. No person deserves that. Not this post, not Shelly or any of the Islanders. However, the parties responsible for this post must write a sincere apology and take steps of accountability to ensure this does not happen in the future. It is the least that can be done to uphold their statement of, quote, helping us do better. We thank all the supporters, friends, and family who have and are passionately supporting Shelly. We see you. We appreciate you. Most importantly, we love you for loving our girl. Let's not allow this incident and others foster digital footprints of hate, but digital footprints of love. And I agree with them. Good for them. I'm happy they're not taking this lying down. This is serious. Like, why? Why would they do that? Like, on what planet is a man punching a woman funny? That's insanity, right? Like, I don't get it. I'm truly racking my brain trying to understand, like, who thought it was funny, why they thought it was funny. Like, can they explain the joke to us? And when you are running an account as big as the Tasty account or as big as the BuzzFeed account, where there are millions of followers and even more millions of people who are reached by these posts, these things are not just made like that. They are made by one. No, and let me tell you, from my days working in social media and PR and blah, 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 you come up with concepts with people, right? You are brainstorming with multiple people. This thing went through multiple people, right? And then multiple people said, oh yeah, that would be cool. Let's go ahead and make this graphic. So they tasked so two people worked together, the person with the idea and the graphic designer, to come up with this. And then they run it through the manager to see if it's okay to put this on social media. The manager says, okay. And then it goes up. So at least like 4 or 5 people approved of this. How? Why? Why Shelly specifically? Why anybody, but why Shelly specifically? Crazy, right? Kate says, it's so uncomfortable when people joke about men hitting women and they think it's funny. Exactly. I don't get it. It's weird. It's so freaking weird. Like, what's funny about that? Genuinely. When we are still in this like global crisis of femicide and whatnot, what is funny about a man hitting a woman quickly? I don't see it. And you were so smart to do that, Allie. I love how, like, you know, you're letting them know, like, you're not messing with this. This is not okay, you know, like, and I hope that they're listening to all of this feedback and that they're going to come back and make a real, true, and proper apology. Gwen says, gotta head to an appointment, so I'll be watching the rest later. Have a good weekend, everyone. Have a good weekend too, Gwen. It was so nice to have you here. East Awesome says, F BuzzFeed. They are a burned out and defunct organization. They have so many levels of oversight for all their content. Exactly. This is not something that happened, but like, you know, imagine if I post on my Instagram. When I post on my Instagram now, I used to have someone that posted for me, but now it's myself, right? BuzzFeed, you're going through several people and it's a hierarchy of people. So people from the very top said, okay, yeah, let's go promote violence against this sweet young lady. It's crazy. I blocked and reported. Oh, good for you. Yes. You know what? I'm going to have to report them for promoting violence too. Because what the F? I think those responsible for the post should be fired post haste. And I agree as well. You know, I don't want to hear these like empty, you know, platitudes and whatnot. Like, we need true action. And this is not okay. BuzzFeed is full of ish. This wasn't an MFing mistake. Publishing an interactive graphic, yeah, is a group effort and requires testing. F them. Boycott BuzzFeed. Period. You know, I'm so happy that people are continuing to show their outrage, to speak out against this, because it is not okay. And they need to circle back, especially because they deleted the apology. So now what? It's like, we're supposed to pretend this never happened? F that, right? And I agree, Lucky, and I hope they do. Right? So anything you guys can do to help, you know, send this message, you know, if it's blocking, if it's reporting, if it's using the hashtags, anything you can do, you know, to defend not only Shelly, but women in general. Like, violence against women is not funny. It never has been, and it never will be funny, right? And so I think that our voices do need to be heard here. Oh my God, you guys, I can't believe it. Another episode of the morning report for the books. Jeez, the time really flies. Like, sometimes I look over and I'm like, damn, it's already been like over an hour. Like, holy cow. You guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Morning Report. I'm really looking forward to catching back up with you guys on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you had a great time with me, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up so YouTube know that you liked it. Listen, they like those likes. That's how they know you like the stuff, right? And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you again soon. Take good care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday again to you, Stephanie, and happy birthday, Ruby, to your daughter, Luna. And good luck with your apartment, Tyrell, okay? Take care, you guys. And channel members, I've got some videos coming up for you very, very soon. Bye, guys.